And greetings and welcome to the All You Can Geek Moviecast, number 702, I believe.
Yeah.
Mine is Jim tonight, so I'm hosting, your host, Corey Feinstad, with Tony
Hey,
Korkanakis
hey, hey.
and Mike Snee.
What's up?
Happy birthday, Jim. It's his birthday, so he is not here tonight, uh, which makes sense. Go celebrate. But, we're here for you guys. We got lots to talk about. But we're gonna trudge on and go forward here. So let's get into what we've been up to. And Mike, have you been watching anything this week? I'm
No,
curious if it's anything other than baseball. So no. Okay. Tony,
no.
did you get to check out anything new?
Yeah, I did. Well, okay, so two things.
Okay.
One, I rewatched
Stay-
Godzilla minus one, but still
Oh,
holds up. Great movie,
oh, yeah.
excellent.
Hmm.
Even and like I said, kind of the better the second time around, just because
Yeah.
like you know what's happening, so you can pay attention to a lot of more of the subtle nuances of the acting. You
Hmm.
can really absorb a lot.
Appreciate what's
Yeah,
happening. Yeah. Yeah. Instead
yep.
of just being like in awe of like,
Oh,
wait,
yeah,
this, I'm so surprised.
yep,
Hmm.
absolutely. And then just actually before the podcast, I finished up another Netflix movie original called Hitman,
Okay.
starring
Oh, okay.
Glenn Powell, I think, right?
I watched that as well.
Oh,
So yeah.
awesome. We
Yeah.
can talk about that then. So,
Hmm.
I
Craig
guess,
Johnson
yeah,
is the real live
real,
person. It's based off of his life, but it's fictional.
yeah,
Like there are fictional things that are going on and are more like elaborate. They elaborate on things a little bit more to the extreme,
yeah, yeah.
I would
There's
say.
definitely it's a based on, fantasy based on reality, as the old Square Enix
Hmm.
used to say. But I gotta say, I was pleasantly surprised, and I actually say like this is worth a watch if you have a Netflix
Hmm.
subscription. And you like comedy, not like thriller, but like kind of what am I trying to say here? Like uh, cat and mouse kind of thing, where it's just like, oh, like what's going on here and stuff like that. I don't know if that's an accurate description, but it was intriguing, kept you like interested in the characters, and what was going on with the plot and everything like
Hmm.
that. I think all the actors did a great job and stuff like that. And the story was
Yeah.
good, even though it was based on reality, they embellished a lot of parts to make it
Embellish
movie
was the word I was
caliber.
trying to think
Yeah,
think
exactly.
before.
And even in the
Yeah.
credits, they're like, "Yeah, we made up some of the darker stuff up, so don't
Hmm.
don't think this person's a bad person at all." Okay, it's just kind of
Yeah.
like,
This was fictional here. Like,
yeah,
yeah, this didn't actually happen at this point. But yeah, no, I agree. I saw that it was getting a lot of good reviews and people was like, "Oh, it went to the theaters and went straight to Netflix. Like this, what's going on here?" But it's definitely worth a watch. So yeah, as you said, if you have a Netflix subscription, it's on there and it's fun. It's not like a comedy, but there's a lot of comedic
comedic
moments
aspects.
to
Yeah.
it. And I would say it's an interesting like look at psychology of the mind and then people. And I like that he's like this college professor, and he's this undercover. He works part time as an undercover guy because he likes technology, and so he helps with the tech side in the police. But he's not really a policeman. He's not an officer or anything. But he finds his niche in becoming different people, and finding what and completing pictures is what like, I think he says, and it's like complete the picture that these people are like telling themselves that they have, and the idea is he's a hitman, but he's not a hitman. So it's like you have to see the movie to really get the idea of it. But essentially, it's also like this love story, and I really like where that went. I think that was
Mm.
really interesting. But I will say the fact that because he's living this unique lifestyle, and then the love interest finds out about the lifestyle and how that happens, and then the quick turnaround on all that stuff. I didn't necessarily feel like I felt that was a little rushed, but as far as like as you said, the acting and how the story leads up and the relationships with the characters, all great. And then the cop, the dirty cop guy, he's
Oh
you
man,
know
you're
he
giving
he's
away a
love to
lot
hate
of
him.
details.
I'm just saying, there's like a lot in the trailer.
No,
That's
no.
all. That's all
Oh,
trailer
I
stuff.
went in blind. I went in blind. So I guess if you watch a trailer, you're gonna know some of these things.
Yeah.
You could
So
probably
yeah,
guess it.
no,
But
it's
yeah,
fun. Anything else?
that's it for me.
No, it's funny is like because that was like that. What's this guy? The Glenn guy is
Yeah,
the actor's name. So
yeah.
when that ended, they suggested like the other movies that he's in that's
Mm-hmm.
on there, and what was I forget. I don't even know the name of it. It's the
It,
one with Sydney Sweeney.
yeah, the comedy like from last
Hmm.
year or whatever like that.
So I was like, oh, I'll just throw that on too because it's not like you have to really pay attention to it. but I think Hitman's a way better movie than
Oh
that one.
yeah.
And I was like, and for all the hype that Sydney Sweeney gets and everything for her figure, let's say,
For what? Oh,
she's
Assets.
she's not very like fun to watch, unfortunately. So I was like, yeah, this movie's just not very good. But yeah, so that's that, and then some more anime. Delicious in the Dungeon had their latest
Oh
episode.
yeah, it did. It ended, and I'm sad.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
it's interesting because the one character in that show really portrayed a lot of range in this episode because I
Hmm.
think it was the one we had the least amount of backstory to. And one of my favorite like YouTubers, content creators, voice actor, what do you want to call him, Pro ZD, or
Hmm.
Sung Wong, he does the English voice acting, and he was talking with his agent. His agent just like, yeah, this episode could just be your demo reel, really. Like from now on, like you could just get
Yeah.
away with this. And watching it, I'm like, yeah, I see it. I totally see it. So
Hmm. No, it's crazy how the rain you don't even see him like you don't think of because if you know the YouTube he does a YouTube channel, and you know what he does for that channel and then his appearance and he's done other voice acting. He's Flack
Radagast
in
or whatever his name is in
yeah he's
God
Flack
of
in
War Ragnarok.
Borderlands 3. So he does a lot of voice acting and like for every role like I don't hear or see him I see the character for every role he does. It's pretty impressive. I'm very impressed with his voice acting. And yeah, in Delicious Dungeon, like I mentioned last week, it like took a turn, and it's like, oh, what is going on here? Like
it really
this
sucks
is
it
like
ends
this.
on this because you're like, oh shit, we're gonna wait a while. So
Yeah. Hmm. But no, we should get more. It was very popular. So and
absolutely,
anime's killing it.
I think they
He's-
already like did some interview or whatever where like behind the scenes at the studio, and somebody because they're fucking nerds. They're like, wait, this scene isn't in any episode, so this obviously means they're already animating season 2. So it's like, oh, okay, cool, like sure.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, that's what we've been watching, guys. And let's moving into the news and keep it in the anime because anime has been killing it on Netflix. And as we know, we had Arcane on Netflix, which we finally got Jim to watch it, and he loved it. We're gonna get season 2 in November, which is also the last of this story.
The
It
final
sounds like
season, they've officially said it. Like they're ending
yeah,
Arcane, which is a story about Vi and Jinx.
right. I do think because they're hinting at the fact that they're gonna come back to League of Legends,
Mm-hmm.
but they are yeah. I think they're gonna make more
Oh, absolutely. I
League of
mean,
Legends stuff.
it's too profitable
Is
for them
this
to not do it, and you have a roster of what I think close to 200 characters now at this
right?
point. So it makes
Plenty of
sense. Yeah,
storylines. Yeah.
it makes sense narratively. Like even though it centers on these two, and there's probably five or six characters that are ancillary to their story and
Hmm.
stuff like that. You have so many to tell, right? And we're only in the one city too. Like it's a whole
Right.
world.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, and you can.
It's kind of like of another series, kind
Uh-huh,
of centered
uh-huh.
around like the same like 20-year span about one
Yeah.
family, and just fucking couldn't get
And just
away
keep
from that.
hammering it
Yeah,
and just like beat
just
down.
tell every
Yeah.
aspect. Like, oh, this is the story of when this guy took a shit. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, cool. I'm glad that shit was really meaningful to him.
Well, I mean, so the studio behind Arcane is also working on something original, which sounds really interesting too. So they have a series that they're working on called Penelope of Sparta, which is essentially the tagline was what like high school's a war or something like that. For what was that? I have to go back because I don't remember exactly what the tagline was, but it was like
Something like that.
for Penelope, high school isn't a party; it's a war. Looks interesting. I mean, obviously the art style that Arcane went with is amazing, and that the stories they told in this, even though it's based on video game characters, we got some original stuff there. Obviously inspired by the game still, but the storytelling was really well done. So I'm excited to see what they do without having to be beholden to
An IP.
an
Yeah.
existing IP. And yeah, the cover art for
Beautiful.
Penelope of Sparta looks pretty
Absolutely
cool.
beautiful. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it too, because like you said, like when the creators have creative liberty,
Yeah.
pun intended, to do whatever they want, they don't have to follow a stringent like, hey, the character has to do this, and the character can't do that, and whatnot. It really, lets them portray things and develop things in ways that we meant and expect. So Apparently, it said it's like gonna be like a sci-fi fantasy or
Yeah, it
fantasy
seems
spin to the whole like, Greek. I think Odyssey and Iliad and stuff like that. So,
right, right.
it's always an easy sell, right? All the
Hmm.
things we've had over the years, whether it's Hercules and Xena or Blood of Zeus, obviously God of War, stuff like that. It's very easy for people to understand and relate to and be like, okay, it's just a new spin on a classic, right?
Yeah,
Just like the Frosty.
absolutely.
Sorry, I drove past the Wendy's and they're like, whatever flavor. I was like, oh, cool. I remember when it was just chocolate.
So yeah, all right. Also, kind of more Netflix stuff happening here. We have the Power Rangers is no longer moving forward at Netflix, and this was like a new rebooted series of Power Rangers. Is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, I think Disney owns it now technically, or
If it was
Disney
a
sell
Fox
it?
product, I don't know.
It changed hands a couple times,
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think the franchise has kind of been mismanaged in the past, I don't know, decade or
for
so.
sure, absolutely. And well, I mean, we're gonna talk about the game cast, but it'd be a good time. It might be a good time to have Power Rangers on
Definitely more exciting
television.
Power
So,
Ranger news in the game cast coming up.
yep. All right, so um, let's move into some Batman stuff, Mike. I see you wearing your
Oh, there
hats
we go.
tonight.
There we go. We got his attention now. We said the magic word.
Yeah. So we have the Penguin series, which is coming to Max, which I still want to just call HBO, but yeah, Max. We have the Penguin. The first trailer kind of, was it they showed? Mm, No, let's see. I'm just looking at this. I didn't even get to see what this was about, but have you looked into this at all, Mike? I know it's
No,
the same.
I don't care,
You don't care
honestly.
about the Penguin series?
No, not at all.
All right, it's coming in September, and it is in the same universe as the Batman with, uh,
Robert Pattinson.
yeah, the Pattinson,
Pattinson.
and
Yeah.
obviously Colin Farrell is portraying the Penguin in this series as well. So I think it's interesting. I like the idea of taking a look at the criminal side. It's giving me like Soprano vibes. So we'll
The
see.
whole concept gives me Gotham vibes, but I
Well,
guess this is more
that's
officially
also
tied into the actual movie. But actual Batman's not going to show up, so whatever, whatever.
yeah. Well, you never know.
Didn't you
Maybe
watch Gotham?
I watched the first season and decided it was shit by the end of the first season.
it's fair. Oh, so also we have Acolyte. Jim's not on tonight, unfortunately. I know he was excited to watch the Acolyte series. I was very interested in it. I don't have Disney Plus at the moment, so I did not go out of my way to watch this series and get it back. It was the first two episodes that they showed, but they did have a huge viewership. The first two episodes, 11 million
Mm.
views on it,
Yeah.
and people seem to be excited for it. 'Cause, something different. But it seems polarizing. I don't know if it definitely. There's
Well,
definitely
I mean,
some
it's
people
Star
out
Wars.
there
It's
that are.
Star Wars, so of course it's going to be polarizing, right? Because you
Hmm.
got the redditors and the Xers, Twitterers.
Hmm.
It's like, whatever. This would never actually happen. It's like, okay, whatever, man.
I mean, yeah, it's one of those things where it takes place 100 years before the movies, and the Phantom Menace. I guess you want to say the first one, first episode. So you got a little bit more freedom to do things that you want to do, as we talked about. And then
I think it's
the
the biggest
director.
debut of 2024.
Oh,
Biggest
for TV.
debut for Disney Plus
Oh, for
2024.
Disney Plus, so it's basically only competing with X-Men. But
Yeah, well, I mean, even X Men I think was
Cool.
only around 4 million or so for
Wow.
its debut.
Okay.
it's a
I
shame
mean, Star Wars
because
is still big. It still draws people in. They the showrunner for this one was talking about how she wanted to do a Old Republic series as well. So maybe if
Yeah,
this gets
that'd be
traction,
awesome. Another time period that
yeah.
they don't really have that
Again,
much
yeah.
baggage to adhere
If
to.
this can do well, maybe she gets that opportunity. We'll see. But I'm sure Jim will talk about it next week uh, as well. I did want to mention we didn't get Borderlands in the game cast, which we'll talk about later, but we got a new teaser trailer for Borderlands, and I will say that scene seems fine, but it's like at the end of it, it shows PG-13, and I'm like, like I understand you want to have as big of an audience as possible for your movie, but as we've seen, when you take characters and you put them in their environment and in their, you let them be who they are, as far as Deadpool, let's say, you can still make money. Like you can still do well, especially if you let the characters be who they are. And having seen Borderlands get rated as a PG-13 movie, it's just going to be edited down to the bare bones of what this game is and what the characters are and do, and I just feel real bad now. Like I'm so disappointed in that because now you don't have the opportunity to do the things as close to it. You're gonna be like cutting all these corners to make sure that everything is PG-13.
Yeah, True is chiming in chat. Thank you, True. Inclusive Borderlands. It definitely looks like it wants to be a family show. Can't wait for Tiny Tina's PG adventures. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge Borderlands fan myself, but like that is super deflating to hear because it's like,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like, to me, as an essential part of the Borderlands thing. Like it's kind of like you get that cartoon style, right? Or you're like, oh, this is gonna be bright and colorful and lighthearted and kiddie, and it's like, no, it's actually not. Right? It's kind of a dichotomy there, but
Yeah.
to be PG-13, like it's just so weird to me that like they're taking almost the opposite of what I was just talking about. Where like they're taking so much creative liberty, where it's like, why is this even Borderlands, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, like it's what's her name, and she's older, and then you have
Well, yeah, you have a 50-year-old actress playing the character in the game who's like
20.
25 years old or
Yeah, and
something.
then you have Kevin Hart playing as Roland, and you're like, what the fuck are you talking
Polar
about?
opposites.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like I don't understand who this is for because it doesn't seem like it's going to please the Borderlands fans, and I don't think it's going to have the reach to get that casual audience. It's like, what's Borderlands? Like, just fucking stroll into a movie theater and fucking watch it? I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah, and
I don't
Krieg is
know.
in this, which is weird, which I like you're gonna start off with a psycho being a good guy. Like, I don't know. It's so weird. It's
You
it's
still
very
gonna day one
disappointing.
it though, right?
I have to
You
day
have
one
to.
it. I have
You
to.
have to. You
Yeah.
don't have that Borderlands shrine for nothing, my friend.
No, I mean I'll be right there. It just yeah, it's so weird. It is so weird. Like casting wise, like okay, I don't get it. Maybe they can make it work. So far, I've not seen it. They're just blowing smoke up our asses right now with everything. It's really disappointing. And like even like Moxie, like the actress. And no offense to Gina Gershwin, who's playing Moxie, but she is
Another
not
older
Moxie.
actress.
Yeah, again, another older actress, but like if you want to build a franchise and you want to have it last for the next decade, you don't get actors who are
Maybe they
at the
don't.
twilight of their career.
This is one and done. Maybe that's what they're going for. Who knows?
It's what they're trying. It's like, yeah,
It's just
with the way this
weird
is going to perform.
because like
Absolutely.
your boy Randy Pitchford is like part of the movie side
Oh yeah,
of
absolutely.
Gearbox
I mean,
now,
he's
right?
trying
He's
to get
not.
that Kojima style. Get me into these movies now.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got
I want to
nothing else
rub
to
elbows
do.
at these celebrities, actors,
You
and
know?
actresses, and it's like,
Again, this is really feels like someone chose these names like 15 years ago, and then they're
Well,
like,
probably
they
Pitchford was
they
like, "Oh,
kept
I
all
love
the
these
same names.
people" when they were growing
Yeah.
up. As I was watching them as I was growing up as kids, and now let's put them in my movie. But they also aged.
yeah. It wouldn't
uh,
surprise me if Randy Pitchford's like, yeah, I'm all about these actresses. And it's like, yeah, dude, but you know,
mhm.
they're not young. They're not.
Yeah.
They can't play these
And
young characters.
it doesn't feel like Borderlands either. It feels like it's trying to be a broke ass Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
So I hope I am
Father,
so wrong
like
about
that.
like trashing this movie right now, but it's everything I'm seeing is just like the worst. It's like
I-
a I'd rather have Uwe Ball or whatever, just make a
You all.
mockumentary. Just destroy my game so that way we can just like let it die.
Yeah, blame it on.
yeah.
Yep.
I don't see how this turns out good in any way.
Is it this
Yeah.
month?
August. So
Oh.
2 months. Yeah.
August is a bad time
Beginning
for
of August.
movies. August is a bad time for movies.
Venom did well.
Yeah,
because this
so
movie's coming out.
maybe they're relying on the Venom factor, right? Maybe they're relying
Yeah.
on the like TikTok, Zillennial, Zoomer, whatever the fuck they call themselves or call them,
You know,
where it's like it's kind of the Venom effect, where like it's kind of bad, but it's
I
kind
think
of
that
good. I don't
right. 'Cause
know.
I'm pretty sure Venom came out in August, the first one.
Yeah,
That's what. It's so weird. And that trailer we didn't talk about last week, but that trailer was hot garbage for Venom. Wow, talk about dumpster fire, like just destroying your franchise.
yeah. It feels
Oh,
like they know it's the end, and their other shit hasn't done well. It's like whatever, man. Like we're just gonna get as many people as we can, get the last cash we can out of this.
yep.
You know, the last
Oh,
squeeze out of
definitely.
this piece of fruit. You
It's
know,
not worth it.
it's not worth it.
Yeah, and so that's the game. The game. That's the movie cast, guys. We're gonna keep it short tonight because we have a lot to talk about in the game cast. We had so many showcase. It's the June. It's the Summer Game Fest. It's the Xbox showcase, Ubisoft showcase. It's everything you can think of coming out. So lots to talk about. So join us for the game cast. Do it live if you can. If not, we are on all the podcasting and YouTube channels the day after. So we record Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. Normally we start around that time. And then we get these out to you guys a day later if you miss us live. But be sure to subscribe and like the videos when you can, if you can. But again, we'll be back for the game cast coming up next. See ya.